Hi guys, so as you guys already know, we're going to be working over the next few sessions to help improve your reading. So to do that, we're going to play some really fun games. One is a detective game where we're going to solve a different case each time I come see you guys, where we're going to read a cool book and find some coding clues to help us figure out the case. So each one of you guys is going to be a detective, and we're going to be looking for clues as we read the book to solve the case. Before we begin solving today's case, I'm going to go over some of the rules. At this point, I'll have the rules slide out and I'll go over it. So like I said, during this game, we're going to be looking for clues from this story to help us solve our case. What types of clues? Well, get out that coding guide I just handed out, and that's going to tell you what kind of clues we're going to be looking for. So can someone please read the different types of clues we'll be looking for? Can you read the V? Can you read the C? Can you read the WS? Thank you guys for helping me out and sharing. Okay, it's detectives. So look at the picture I handed you. And I want you to put your thinking caps on and tell me what it brings to mind, what it makes you think of. Those are great connections you guys just made. So today we're going to be reading this great social studies book called Rosa. It has really pretty language and really awesome pictures, and it's going to help us solve a really important case. So pay attention. The case we're going to be solving today is, who is Rosa and why is she important? So I know you guys pretty much already covered this, but I'm going to get you a little background before we begin so we all start on the same page. In 1955, when black and white people were treated unequally, Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white person. Her actions started a movement which led to greater equality. Movement. Now that's a big word. See, I've already got it written on the board. Let's see if we can word solve and break it down. Is there a smaller word or part you know inside it? Move. That's a great one. What does move mean? Yeah, it means to kind of go forward or make progress. And when we add ment to the end, that's a suffix that means it's a thing. So I can put those together to make meaning of the whole word. So a movement is something that moves us forward or makes progress. So when I put that back into context, Rosa's movement moved us towards treating all people equally. I understand now that one reason Rosa is important is because her actions started a movement or a thing that moved us forward. So that's an example of how a word solving clue is going to work, where we break the word down and put the parts back together to figure out the meaning. So today we're going to be hunting for clues to solve our case of who is Rosa and why is she important. So let's find some clues and start the game to solve our case. Remember, when you guys find a clue, we're going to code it by choosing the code that best fits and marking it and the clue in the story with our code flags. So this is going to help us find evidence to solve our case. So then we can move one square in the game board and we get closer to finishing. So let's practice. For visualize, we're going to use our green flags. Connection is blue and word solve is red. So I'm going to summarize the first few pages so that we can get into the exciting part of the stories. Now I will be summarizing pages 2, 3, and 6. And then I'll have all students turn to page 7. So there are some really important clues in this part. Let's read the first 2 paragraphs aloud together and find clues to solve our case. Who is Rosa and why is she important? On 3, let's begin reading together aloud in our whisper voices like this. Point to the word Rosa and start here. 1, 2, 3. Now we'd read aloud. Did you find a clue about Rosa and why she might be important? If you did, you should mark it in your text. I'd love to see one for every single person. And I'd have students share clues. Oh, so you visualized when you read that Rosa sat where whites or black people could sit. That's great. Put it on the board. So you already knew, so you made a connection that there were different sections of the bus for white people and for black people, and that Rosa refused to give up her seat. That is a great connection. I'm going to put that on the board. And you guys just got 2 X's on the game board. That means we are 2 spaces closer to solving our case. You guys are doing a great job. But let's think, did you guys see any words that might be Helpful to solve. Frequently. That's a great word. Write it up on the board. So did you find a smaller part of the word frequently that you already knew? Frequent. That's a great example. Does anyone know what frequent means? All right, so frequent means often, and when you add the suffix "ly," it just means that you're doing it. So if you're doing something often. So then when we put it back into context, we say that she often went to NAACP meetings. Anybody else have a word that they marked in their book? Yeah, pleasantries. Do you have a smaller word in pleasantries that help you solve what it means? Pleasant. Does anybody know what pleasant means? Yeah, just kind of nice or good. And when you add trees to the end, it's just kind of like, it just means nice sayings or nice things you might say to people. So like, hey, how you doing? What's up? Those are pleasantries, just saying nice things to one another, being friendly. And so when you put it back into the context of the story, they're saying that they often said hi to each other when they ran into each other. So that means they're kind of friendly. Great job. So remember, finding a unit or smaller part helped you figure out the meaning of these really hard words. And these words are really big, but by word solving, you can read and spell them easily.